Hello, my name's Brian Hunter. This is Module 8, case study number 1. Let me just read through this really quickly. You can pause the video and read it if you like, but if I'm talking to Dr. Besselo, you already know the situation. A year ago, you were appointed as the new principal at Jayhawkville North High School. You took over for a very popular building principal who emphasized that winning athletic programs led to winning in a classroom. You have spent a good part of the first year establishing relationships around the entire community and have made some positive progress. You purposely decided to hold off a year to dive into some of the goals regarding continuous improvement. You have been able to make formal and informal visits to most classrooms, have completed cursory meetings with teaching staff, and have numerous conversations with curriculum and teaching experts in the building and district. It has become quite apparent that there are several classroom teachers who are not effective in their teaching and in student learning. Each has been evaluated in the past, and reading their past evaluations, it is brought to your attention that each was rated as adequate, given several positive comments from their evaluators, and marks to be reemployed. You have made it known that where teaching is not happening, you will challenge each professional to be his or her very best or move on to something different. You are now in the beginning of the second year as the principal. You decide to take on the weakest teaching links in this second year. So essentially, what we have here is we have 3 different situations, and let me read through the situations real quickly. The first one, you have a boys head basketball coach. He's led teams to state championships, several players to prestigious colleges, and he has really increased community support at events, and it's going to another level. The second situation, you have a teacher that's been at your school for 25 years. She started the Advanced Placement Program, the Honor Society, and many other honors level classes. She has shared with others that she has 5 years until retirement and just wants to enjoy her successes with the least amount of intrusion. And finally, the last one. The last teacher is a passionate activist for what is right. He is very active in the community and has led many initiatives to fully involve minorities in all community events. He is African American and is extremely popular with all minority communities within your school community. All right, so the way I want to address this is I want to first talk about what strategies I plan to use in general to address these situations. Then I want to talk specifically about each situation and some of the issues that it presents. And again, strategies for how we can deal with that. And then finally, the conclusion where I'm going to tell you why my plan will work. So, in general, you are facing potentially 3 very popular staff members who have had a profound impact on the school culture, school success, and community involvement. In these situations, it's never easy to have these conversations. But ultimately, the important thing for them to know is first and foremost, your job is to educate our students. And it's in my opinion that you are not doing that efficiently or effectively. So what I would like to then tell them is that I'm going to give you the opportunities to get some training, to improve, and get on an improvement plan. And ultimately, if I don't think we're making steps towards being the teachers that I know that you are capable of being, other employment avenues should be explored. So the leadership style I'm going to use here is the principle of equal respect. As Green says, followers' beliefs need to be respected, even if they are not consistent with my leadership beliefs. So in this situation, I would want to talk to them. I would want to figure out how they think they're doing, so we can have an honest dialogue about how they're not meeting my expectations. And again, what I need to be willing to do is understand that how they see the situation might be different than how I see the situation, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, some leadership traits that I think are going to be important for this situation are respect, reasoning, being supportive, and having a vision for the future. The reason that all of these are important, first with respect, this is a very delicate situation. These people have had a profound impact on the school. I need to respect that. I need to understand that they have a certain status within the school that requires me to come at them from a respectful position. Reasoning is important because I need to be able to explain to them how they're not meeting the goals I have for them, and the reasons why it's important that they meet me with my improvement plan. Supportive because, again, I want to make sure that they're given the opportunities, the training, and everything else they need to be successful. This isn't just going to be something where I'm like, well, you're not doing your job, goodbye. I want to be supportive. I want to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to help them excel as a professional, which then leads to the vision that all students can be successful, that all teachers are effective and are using best practices within their classroom. Now, with any decision that we're going to roll out, we're going to do it together as a team, and we're going to use the incremental model. In the incremental model, according to Green, small changes are made to avoid unanticipated negative consequences. If we're able to slowly work through this improvement and let them know at the end of the day, my goal isn't to kick you out, to let you go. It's to have you improve as a teacher, because I was hired and my goal for this school is that we're going to be academically successful. And I need all teachers to be effective for that to be a possibility. Now, when we are looking at communication styles, I think the best one here is to use the wheel, because the wheel will allow me to discuss a curriculum issue with each teacher at once. I think I would like to meet with all three of these teachers. I don't want them to feel like they're being isolated or singled out. I want them to know that we're a team and I value them, and I want them to be as successful as they can be. So I've kind of talked about generally how I would like to deal with this. Now I want to talk about each specific situation now, and some of the issues that we're facing because of this, and how I plan to address it. So here's the first situation. I told you it's the head basketball coach. Now this one is really difficult because he has a big impact on community relations, school culture, and other tangible impacts that he's made on this school through his basketball team. One of the things that you're actually going up against in this situation is that it seems like the prior administration very much thought that athletics were a way to improve the school as a whole. And clearly, if that's the thinking here, then this basketball coach is an exemplary teacher, air quotes, because he's so good at coaching. To me, I would talk to him and I would say, listen, you need to make sure you are balancing your time between basketball and your classroom. You are hired to be a teacher first and a coach second. I would make sure to be respectful, but also ask him, are you setting your priorities straight? We are paying you to be a teacher first and a coach second. And I would emphasize that. Now, I think you have to be really careful here because likely he's popular amongst the community. He clearly has community support at these events. So you have to make sure that you come at him in a way that's respectful, that won't lead to issues down the road with the community. I know of one district where they fired a longtime head coach. It became this big issue, and we don't want that situation here. We want to make sure that in the unlikely event that he is unable to improve as a teacher, that we make it clear to the community that this was simply a teaching decision and not a coaching or personal decision. The next situation is this teacher that's getting ready to retire. Now, this is a unique situation because really how we handle this could have a huge, huge impact on our school's vision of continuous improvement. She started the advanced placement programs. She has done a lot to bring rigor to our school culture, to add classes that might be of interest to those high-level achievers, the ones that get the recognition, that put your school over the top. And the other thing is she's getting ready to retire. So you have to be really, really careful here of balancing between how much is somebody that's this close to retirement wanting to improve, and what does it say if I don't hold this person accountable to their improvement? Now, I think how I would approach this is I would say to her, listen, I know you've got 5 years, but we need to make sure that we're improving till the very end. I know that you're kind of just wanting to sit back, enjoy your successes, and kind of ease into retirement. But when you're here, when I am paying you to be on my staff, I need you to be bringing your A game. I need for you to constantly be improving. Okay? That's the conversation I would have. I think I would try to meet with her in a couple months, see how that improvement is going, and then maybe have a conversation after that if things are not improving the way I need them to. And again, it's a delicate situation because potentially this teacher could be very popular with the honors kids, and you might, if she's not able to improve, see a large decrease in the enrollment in advanced placement, which is a good indicator and something that we want to make sure we are publicizing. So I'd just be careful. I would make sure to talk about how we need to be challenging ourselves to improve continuously every year. And the last one's probably the most difficult because you're going up against a couple of things. You're going up against the fact that he's a minority. And if he's not able to improve and you're going to have to let him go, you could face accusations of racism, which clearly that's never the intention. But you have to be careful. I think, again, I would come and talk to him, and I would say, hey, here's what I'm seeing, here's what needs to improve. I love how involved and active you are in the community. I think you're doing amazing things with our minority students. But again, at the end of the day, I need teachers that are effective and good at their job. And I need to make sure that you are improving and taking steps forward, and that I will provide you everything that you need to get this moving forward. So, again, providing him with the resources, providing him with a supportive administrator, and tying it to the vision that I think it sounds like he has for this school, where every student can be successful. So, again, as I talked about earlier, with the learning style I'm going to use, the traits, the decision-making process, the communication style, I think that this will be effective because I'm giving them the opportunity to improve, to get better. What person, when given the opportunity to be better, turns it down and says, nah, I'm good. I'm fine with being mediocre. I'm fine with not being good at my job. And I think what I need to do is make sure I'm effectively communicating to them what things I'm looking for, how I think that they can improve, complimenting them on the things that they are doing well, and really making sure they understand that I'm here for them and that I want them to get better and that I don't want to have to let them go because you are clearly such a huge part of what makes this school special. But again, first and foremost, I need effective teachers. So please get on board with this plan. Let's make this work. Let's get better. And let's do everything we can for all of our students.